Hey y'all, what's going on? Welcome back to Lawrence Life Podcast. I am Carla Arcana Lawrence, the Trailblazer.
Sean, baby.
So we know it's been a minute. Y'all, if y'all
Yes.
missed our live tonight, we went live talking about, or last night, we went live talking about just 2024, an overview, an update. If you missed it, go back and watch it on Instagram at Lawrence Life Coaching. Baby, go ahead and take a moment and say hey to everybody.
Hey, how y'all doing? So we are back. We're happy to be back. 2025. Hey, brand new year, brand new things happening. We had a lot going on in 2024, which is why y'all might not seen us as much
Live
right?
as much.
But yeah, so everything, man, has been a blessing. We're both on different journeys in life,
Yeah.
and they're actually bringing us closer together. So that is an amazing
Absolutely.
thing, because sometimes it can kind of push people apart, and they end up drifting away or being disconnected. But luckily, I'm not gonna say luckily, because we pray a lot when it comes to our relationship, our marriage. And we just one of those people where we're gonna fight for it. We're not gonna give up. Ain't no divorce over here, honey. We're gonna figure it out. You heard me? So yeah, man. But hey, everything is good. Everything is great. Hey, matter of fact, we went live earlier. So, whether you checking this out, the next day, whatever, go to our Instagram, Lawrence Life Coaching, and you can see us talk more about things that we went through in 2024, right? And hey, follow us on Instagram. You can see a lot more of us. You know what I'm
Or
saying?
TikTok, Lawrence
TikTok, that's
underscore
right.
life.
As long as TikTok is around, right?
So as y'all know, we are certified life and relationship coaches, and we specialize in curating a safe space for couples to navigate through difficult seasons while maintaining connection, learning how to communicate effectively, and utilizing those differences to bring you closer rather than tearing you apart. So tonight we're talking about, or today rather, we're talking about how to communicate better with your partner. Y'all, we have had our share.
That's right.
Okay, of challenges. So first of all, we want you to know, whatever you and your partner are dealing with, you are not alone. Type that in the comments. Somebody say, I am not alone. I am not alone. Listen, sometimes when we go through things in relationships, we can feel like it's just us or it's just your partner. No, everybody goes through it. I tend to say I grew up in my marriage, right? I was 37 when we got married. I'm 40 now, but we've been together 9 years. And so I learned a lot. There was so much. Let me tell you, some relationships are a mirror. I often say a reflection. So the very things that you sometimes dislike in another person is the very traits that you carry, right? And so we want to share with you some tips and resources tonight on how to communicate better with your partner. So you may see us look over here because we have a dual screen, and that is where our notes are, because we always want to bring you value and bring you content that can strengthen your relationships and also help you to grow individually. You ready to get started, baby?
Hey, let's get it.
All right. So we're talking about how to communicate better with your partner. Number one is you want to practice active. Type that in the comments. Active. Practice active listening. So what that means is you want to eliminate distractions and paraphrase what you hear and ask open-ended questions, right? So active listening is so important. Y'all, we got to get rid of these cell phones. I can't tell y'all how many times we've been out and we don't see couples engage with each other. They stuck in them phones. Tell them about that time when we struggled with not being active, not practicing active listening. Early on, we were in therapy and we had to put our cell phones in a box. Like, tell them about that whole. You remember that?
Yeah, man. Let me tell you something. Yeah, a hard thing. Like for years, because boy, I tell you, because my wife, she worked her business, so she was the type where she working all night. You know what I'm saying? Feeling the need to respond to her clients or the people 12 o'clock at night. I'm like,
different time zones.
I'm like, like I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And it would be hard for my baby to put that phone down.
Yeah, it
Um,
was.
so it was a struggle, right? So I know for our relationship, that was one of her struggles, right? With the phone. Okay. My struggle was after about a minute, I done went in la la land. So,
So you saying
neither
your
one
mind
of
be
us
roaming?
were actively listening to each other, right? So when we went to therapy, therapist taught, she was like, just, try putting your phones in the box and just really zoning in on the conversation and really listen to what your partner have to say. Not listen to respond or none of that, but
Mm-hmm.
really hear them out, because that is one of the main issues that we see in relationships, right? Because we know it. Let's be honest. Our partner get to talking and they say one thing that we don't like, or one thing that did not happen the way that it happened,
Or we don't agree with.
and we don't agree with it.
We don't hear nothing
We'll
else.
hear nothing else because we are ready to respond to that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we don't hear anything else. But the thing is, we all have different perceptions, different, we both can experience the same thing, but each see it differently, right?
Absolutely.
So it's important to listen to your partner. Okay.
Yeah. So, number one, in order to communicate better with your partner, practice actively listening. That means eliminating all distractions. It's not, oh, babe, let me game or let me post it on
Right.
media. Giving them your undivided attention. We previously taught a class, probably like a couple of years ago, a year ago, and we were talking about the 5 pillars of a healthy relationship. And one of those is respect. We got to bring respect back to the forefront of our relationships. You know how you were taught, look a person in the eye when you're speaking to them. So you look your partner in the eye, let them know that they matter. And so for me, being a single mom at that time when LaShawn and I first connected, a single mom who was also an entrepreneur, so I had to get it. Like, ain't nobody hearing me nothing, you know what I'm saying? I was like, listen, I gotta respond. I don't use the word balance, I use the word harmony. He brought harmony into my life and was like, listen, everything can't be about business. Like, it was all business for me. And so I learned how to be present in the relationship and to communicate, because I couldn't be out here helping everybody else and then I'm not applying those same things to my relationship. So number one, you want to practice active listening. So instead of, like Sean said, instead of waiting to respond, focus on understanding, not trying to prove your point, right? But focus on understanding your partner's perspective. Always remember, it's you and your partner against the problem and not each other. Come on. It's you and your partner against the problem, not each other. So what we'll do, we'll get so caught up in trying to be right. Let me tell you something. In a healthy relationship, there is no room for egos.
That's right.
They say ego stands for edging God out. You understand? So you don't have room for your ego in a healthy relationship. Listen, treat them. What's the golden rule? Treat your partner the way you want your partner to treat you. All right. And then repeat back what you hear them say. So if LaShawn and I are having a conversation, instead of me just immediately giving a rebuttal, processing what he's saying, instead of trying to make my point, state my claim, or prove that I'm right, right? Because nobody wins when the family feuds. What Jay say? So I'm listening to what he says, and before I respond, I say, okay, what I hear you say is, and I paraphrase what I heard him say. And then I offer him the opportunity, and vice versa, offer him the opportunity to either say, no, that's not what I meant. Because how many of y'all know what you hear is not always what translates? Can we be honest? That used to be a big problem for us. Me and Sean will be talking, and I would say something, and he'll interpret it, or I will interpret it completely different. And he's like, babe, that's not what I said. Or I'll be like, babe, that's not what I said. What I said was this, but what he heard was that. So that cuts out all of the confusion, right? When you say, what I hear you say is. Anything you want to add to that?
Because one of the things is, right, we all have different triggers and traumas. So your partner may not know that you are triggered by a certain word, right? And use that word or that phrase that you have heard someone say before, but they may not mean it in that sense, right? They
That's
may
right.
not mean it that way. So it's important to get an understanding of what it is that they mean from that, right? Because we'll run with that. I know I have. Like, because I have heard some things being said to me. So if my wife say certain things or it sounds similar, it ain't even got to be the exact way, but similar. I'm like under attack. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to just get a clear understanding of what it is that they mean, what they say, and also just keep the main thing, like my wife
Come
say,
on.
right? Like, because when you are trying to get your point across, right, and you want your partner to hear you, you want to, in order for a person to actively listen, you have to be clear on what it is that you want them to hear. But if
Hmm.
you are all over the place and you have went from 1959 to
That's
2025,
too much.
that is too much because they are just going to pick one thing that bothered them the most that you said, and then you really not going to get anywhere. So keep the main thing, and leave it there. Don't make it too cluttered. Okay. Don't
Hmm.
you know how it is in your home when it's cluttered? You can't find nothing, right? It's too much
Right.
mess everywhere.
Right.
So it's the same thing with communication. Don't keep it cluttered. Like, just stay that tunnel vision. Keep it what
Hmm.
it is. Okay. So that means don't harbor things.
Come on.
Don't hold things for a whole week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You done held something each day, and then Saturday they thinking y'all about to go out and enjoy yourself, and you won't tell them about everything that they done did that whole week. Come on, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So just have a conversation as things come. You know.
Absolutely. And then number two, right? And listen, guys, all of these tips, and we share so many more in our new workbook called Love Beyond Labels, a guide for couples. Y'all can go to lawrencelifecoaching.com, get your signed copy. Y'all, we can't wait to get this to y'all. And I tell y'all, it's filled with tips, tools, and resources to help you communicate better, understand each other's love languages, attachment styles, and so much more. All right. Second tip for communicating better with your partner is using I statements instead of you statements. So, what is an I statement? First of all, you want to stay away from what, baby? You
You
always,
explaining,
you
yeah.
never. Soon as you start that conversation, if I come to Sean and be like, you, oh,
Like, oh
immediately
Lord,
on the
here we go.
defense. But if I started with an I statement, which is I feel blank when blank occurs, or let me give it like I got it in my notes. For example, I feel blank emotion. I feel insert emotion when situation because reason. I feel emotion when situation because reason. Example, instead of saying you never spend time with me, try vulnerability is so important in relationship. We just talked about egos,
Right.
right? We got to be more vulnerable. I feel lonely when we don't have quality time together because I value our connection. Do you know how much more you could get with that instead of like when Sean, now we're gonna be honest, when he was complaining, you always in your phone, you think I got out of my phone when he was talking like that?
Right.
Because I just heard, I couldn't hear him. It was okay, he just got an attitude. He don't understand entrepreneurship.
Right.
He don't understand, you know what I'm saying? But when it was, baby, I really want to watch this movie with you.
Mhm.
I really want date night to be. I want to spend time with you. We had a busy week. Oh, okay. Let me put this phone down. You know, you can get more with sugar than you can with, right? So use your I statements. The
Yeah.
framework to use is I feel emotion when situation because reason. So I feel, come on, you give an example.
I feel neglected
When
when we don't get along, go to bed angry because I feel neglect. It reminds me of my childhood.
You see what
You
I'm
know what I'm
saying?
saying? So it's like you really want to, and like my wife said, it's about being vulnerable. Like we
Mm-hmm.
have such a hard time being vulnerable with the person that we say is the one. Like that's our person, but we don't want to open up to them. And
Mm-hmm.
I understand it because of things that may have happened in the past where you may have tried to be vulnerable and you were dismissed or not taken serious. However, I feel everyone deserves an opportunity, a chance. And it's a way of saying things
Mm-hmm.
because it invites your person in. You
Mm-hmm.
know, when you express vulnerability, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
because it gives them that sense of, you know what, baby, I got you. You know, I don't want you to feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what, for now on, let's talk about it before we go to bed because I don't want you to feel neglected because I would never leave you. You know, so
Come
it
on.
it it changed the conversation. It keeps it from getting too far left, and you don't end up resolving it when you just be vulnerable and express what you feel when it happened. Because when you go to a person and you say you this, you that, you always, a lot of times it's like, you know what? They come back, you just insecure, or you
Mm.
always got something to say, or you know, so it come on, y'all know we right. I mean, come on. How many times has it happened? Okay.
So instead of, because what happens is instead of us communicating because of our choice of words, now we're arguing.
Yeah.
Right? So communicating is sharing an exchange of information. This is how I feel. This is how I, I I feel, I sense, I see, I desire, I want. And then, babe, what about you? What is it that y'all, we got to bring what we said earlier, respect. When you respect each other, you will change how you speak to your partner, right? When you respect them. And first of all, when you respect yourself, right? So just keep in mind, you I statement. Number two is using your I statement instead of you statement. Start with I feel, right? And then another thing we want to say is instead of focusing on all the things that you don't like or that your partner isn't doing right, focus on the things that you do like and the
Right.
things they are, that you do like and that they are doing right, because whatsoever you focus on becomes maximized, right? Because we've been there where we made our relationship seem like it was worse at one time than it really was. When we weighed it
Right.
on that scale, it was like we actually get a lot right. We're different. I'm a Cancer, you a
Yeah.
Taurus, I'm extroverted, you're introverted, but our differences balances each other out.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I keep LaShawn from being too boring. He keep me from going too over the top.
Right.
So we
Yeah.
are good harmony,
Yeah.
right? So once you realize you're with your person, we gotta bring respect back to the forefront. We can't communicate better if we don't have the foundation set, right? You might have to start with ground rules. The ground rule is number one, we won't raise our voice at each other. We won't use vulgar language to each other, right? We and watch this. Even when it comes to, like baby mentioned, childhood traumas and wounds, y'all, you gotta share your story with your partner.
Yeah.
You cannot expect an understanding regarding a matter that your partner knows nothing about. You guys will be surprised how many people we have coached where clients have been together for years and didn't know about the other one's childhood trauma or triggers. And that was the bulk of the issue. They were butting heads and things were happening because they simply didn't know about their past. And I saw somebody
Right.
on YouTube one time was like, I don't care nothing about nobody past or anybody I've been. I was like, that's a fool. Because in order to understand now and
You
to
got it. Yeah.
understand you
Right.
to where you come from,
That's right.
I need to know what was your relationship like with your mama, granny, your daddy, your sister, your cousins. Are you the oldest? Are you the youngest? Because those dynamics matter. I'm the baby in my family. I'm the youngest. LaShawn is the oldest.
Yeah.
So you can already imagine the tug of war that was going on, because the youngest think they the boss, the oldest think they the boss. So baby, we had a tug of war going on, and then we realized we both had to surrender.
Yeah.
We like to use that word submit, but we use the word surrender. We surrender one to another. right? We're going to respect each other because I'm going to respect you because I love you and I love myself and I'm going to respect myself. Anything you want to add to that? That's pretty dope,
Yeah,
right? That was real good, right? 2 snaps on that.
Hey.
All right. So then number 3, tell them what number 3 is, baby.
All right. So number 3 is be mindful of timing and tone in communication. Right? Come on. Y'all know how it is. Like, like my wife have learned as far as timing with me. Don't text me early in the morning when I done got the word about something. Right?
Wait a minute, because you'll get up early in the morning and get to talking, and I'll be like, "Man, it's 5 o'clock. I ain't even talking."
Especially about business, right?
I be ready.
She be ready, like hey, great timing. Just recently, I get to work. My baby texts me, boy,
all kind of ideas,
just all kinds of ideas for this whole year. Okay?
The quarter, like, the first quarter, the first quarter.
Like, wait a minute. And then I messed up and I said, well, I'll do this today and I'll do that tomorrow. Why you just can't do all of it today? What? Wait a minute. You get off at 2:00. Wait a minute. So
oh, let's talk about that interpretation of text messages.
That's right.
The method of communication too.
That's right. Yeah. So, and
because texting got us in trouble a lot.
Texting has gotten us in trouble a lot because you got to think about it. Whatever state that your relationship is in that during that time, when you send that text, like if y'all are not vibing that well and you send a text, they're gonna read it from the mind frame of where they are. Okay. So you may not mean to come off that way, but if they already frustrated with you and irritated with you,
yeah, that's how they're gonna interpret it.
They gonna think you coming for them, and you ain't. You know what I'm saying? So you got that goes along with the timing of things, like when it's okay to send this and the tone. We tell couples a lot of times, like, don't text certain things through messaging. You know what I'm saying? Like some things you need to have a conversation. Yes. Right. And please be mindful of tones. Like I know some people, you text and then you using all caps. What do you think that person think you mean?
I think you yelling at me.
Okay, that's like yelling. Right? We already know what all caps mean.
Or the thumbs up. We know I hate that thumbs up.
Instead of the heart, you heart everything, and then the day you want the thumbs up, okay, cool, got
it. We telling on ourselves.
When you might was doing something at that time, and you just clicked the like, it didn't mean anything, right? But that is really important, like the timing. But that comes along with understanding your partner, knowing when it is the right time to come to them about any type of concern or conflict or whatever it is that you may be feeling, that you feel the need to express to them. Please pay attention to the timing, not first thing in the morning when they just get the work, and not when they just get off.
Are you talking about me?
No, I'm just like in general. I believe, kidding. You know what I'm saying? Because you getting to work, you getting yourself together. You gotta work.
I be ready, honey. I be having a whole lot.
I'm already like I'm a manager, so when I get to work in the morning, by the time I get to my desk, I already done had about 3-4 people that came to me about something. Okay, so I am already in a place where here we go. And then my wife would text me something like, okay. To the point where I may just put my phone on do not disturb.
And then I call the work.
And then I wait. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's just about paying attention. And babe, you can, explain more to them, especially about the tone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I know you're a tone person.
But you did tone. You did really good with tone. I'll do body language. Right, y'all, there's this thing called open body language and closed body language. Think about your hands. If I'm sitting there like this and I'm listening to you, that's closed body language. But if I got my hands to my side, or if I'm holding we encourage couples, when you have a hard conversation, touch each other, because you got the disarm. Remember I told you earlier, you get more with sugar than you can with. Sometimes when I really want to say something to Sean that, I know he might not want to hear it, Because one thing we vow to each other is we gonna always tell each other the truth. So when I got something to tell him, honey, I get to rubbing that head because I know that's what he like. Because you know what I'm doing, not just rubbing him, but I'm disarming him. So then I can say, you know, babe, earlier, you know, I really didn't like your tone of voice when you spoke to me earlier. If you can please keep that in mind and not talk to your wife that way, I would really appreciate it. Now, I done disarmed him. You think we're going to have a conversation or you think we're going to have an argument?
Right.
Oh, baby, ain't even going to be no conversation. It's babe. First of all, he probably, knowing Sean is going to be, babe, what you talking about? What? You know, and then I got to break it down. He'll be like, oh. All right, my bad. Because I done disarmed him because I know what his spot is. Listen, wherever you got to know your partner. Wherever their spot is, honey, get the rub in that spot. Disarm them. Always think about, you can be a strategist. What I teach my life coaching clients is we got to be strategists of our lives. So if this is the person that you love and you're trying to get them to understand something and you don't want to be offensive, but you want to be clear, you want to be assertive, disarm them first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even if it's in the middle of giving them some, say what you got to say and be done. You know, however it works. That. He said, it ain't gonna, I'm just saying. You said don't do that. Don't do that. Wait till afterwards.
As a fella, don't do that.
Okay, y'all, don't do that one. Don't do that one. But everything else,
you can wait till afterwards, though, because they are disarmed. They are weak. And you don't put it on them. They is tired. So then you gotta say what you gotta say.
Be like, so babe, you know,
I really felt some type of way the other day when you
but I forgive you. So no, and we're gonna stop doing that. Remember earlier, like Sean said, let's not carry things from day to day. And what happens is the reason why things get carried from day to day because nothing get resolved because we don't keep the main thing. When we come with 1,000 things, or we start deflecting. Or if Sean comes to me with something, now I'm talking about, well, you just did that last week. That's called deflecting. We are talking about this moment right now. Whoever brings the concern is the one who has the floor.
That's right.
The other person is to listen, practice active listening, call and response. Okay, what I hear you say is, this is not the time for you to say, well, I got a concern too. Y'all wait next time. Because that's how things keep being pending.
Yeah.
You know, because you're never resolving anything because you're talking about everything at one time. So you know your relationship. Do what works for you. But also, if what you've been doing is not working, then it's time to try something different. You need to get our workbook, Love Beyond Labels, a guide for couples. All right. So approach sensitive topics when you are both calm and use a gentle tone to foster openness instead of creating tension.
Yeah. And don't be like me. Okay. Because I was the one where I wouldn't say anything. Like something happened, I'd be like, you know what? I get frustrated. My mood would definitely shift, right? But I would never say anything. And then when she brings something to me, I would be like, I know you ain't coming to me about this, and you da. You know what I'm saying? Because I held it in and wait. I would wait until she come to me about something. And I feel like, oh. Now I can say what I feel, and we would not get anywhere like that, right? So I had to learn how to open up, be more honest, because I always kind of struggled with hurting people's feelings, right? I struggled with that really bad coming up. I didn't want to say anything to hurt anybody's feelings, or I didn't want to say anything that make them feel, less than, or what feel bad, or anything like that. So I would just carry it. My mood would change. I get frustrated, pissed off, whatever, start acting weird. But I wouldn't say anything until she come to me with a concern. Then I'm all over the place. And next thing you know, we're in an argument. We're not getting anywhere. Nothing is solved, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just learn from me. Like whatever it is that you're feeling that have offset your mood, that you realize it make you feel some type of way, because a lot of times it can be just a trigger, or something from your past that may not even have anything to do with your partner.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a way of opening up and letting your partner in so that they can understand, so they won't do it anymore, right?
Mm-hmm. And then also, let's make sure that we remember that relationships are require a level of maturity, especially marriages. Like we're
Yeah.
married, right? So we can't sweat the small stuff. Like we've been together 9 years. There are certain things about me where LaShawn just be like, okay. And then there's certain things about him, I just be like, okay. Like we've learned what to address, what not to address. We know I know when he needs time to himself. He know when I need time to myself. You know, when I go over there in the other room, it's me and God. I know when he go down there on that couch, when he first get off, he need about a good hour or two by himself. I don't argue, be like, oh my God, you all. No, we already know. When I first get home, we kiss,
Right.
and then I go on detox, he detox, and then we come back together. So develop a rhythm within your relationship, but give each other the freedom and the liberty to be who you are, and don't make a big thing out of everything. Everything shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
Right? Because there came one time in our relationship where I remember we was in therapy and we did this exercise and we had to list our triggers. Tell them about it, babe.
Tell you something. You would have thought I was with about 5 different folks. So we listen to our triggers, right?
I had about 10 pages, honey.
Man, my baby had about 10 pages. I'm like, is there anything I can do like that will not trigger you? Like,
I need a healing.
That list was so small that the only thing I could do that wouldn't trigger her was breathe. Okay, and even then, if I breathe a little loud, that might have been a trigger. Okay, like I was like, oh my God, but it also opened up her eyes too. You know what I'm saying? So just be careful with that. Like really, have the conversation. And if you find yourself being triggered by so many things, it's some healing work that needs to be done too, right? Because we also, of course, you want your partner to, protect you, to take care of you, to, love you and be there for you, respect you, and all of those things, right? But you also have your own individual work that needs to be done because we can't go through life having things as an excuse for someone not to say something, to do something, because you're still hurt from this that happened 30 years ago. It still triggers you from 30 years ago, right? So it's also too a place of understanding, okay, what do I need to work on to, find a way to cope with this, to know that when my partner say certain things, they are not this person that did this to me.
Come
right?
on.
So, really pay attention to that too.
Awesome. And so to summarize today's conversation, right? We talked about how to communicate better with your partner. Number one, practice active listening, right? Number two, use I statements instead of you statements. And then number three, be mindful of be mindful of timing and your tone of voice while communicating. So if you keep those three things in mind, and of course, we have so much more that we can share with you. You can go to lawrencelifecoaching.com, get your copy of our workbook. We teach you how to understand each other's love languages, attachment styles, how to unlock the power of connection, how to communicate better. We go even deeper here. And then we talk about relationship CPR. Some of you came into the new year where your relationship literally was hanging on by thread because you didn't resolve in 2024 what needed to be resolved, and you brought those things in with you. And guess what? That's okay. We've been there, right? But then now we got to say, okay, what's the vision for the relationship? What's the goal? We got to begin to have these hard conversations. And so we want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yes. We're back. We'll be live every Tuesday. A new video will release for Lawrence Life Podcast. So stay tuned each week. Make sure you subscribe. We may share some videos with you in between time. And we just thank you so much for tuning in. And we hope that you got something from today. Please feel free to comment. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know what resonates. Let us know what other topics you want us to talk about. And then if you and your spouse or you and your partner are in need of coaching, it's okay. Let me tell y'all something. It's okay to need help. Sean and I got where we are because we had a mediator. We've had a therapist. We've had coaching. Now, we are not therapists. We are certified life and relationship coaches who specialize in trauma-informed coaching. So we do a lot of getting to the root of the issue. So if you're not the type that you're really ready to do the work and you're ready to be honest about what's really going on, we probably won't be the best fit for you. But if you're like, I am sick and tired of being sick and tired, something has to change. This is our year to manifest the relationship and become the couple we know we can be, then we would definitely love to talk to you. You can go to lawrencelifecoaching.com, schedule a consultation with us to share, what's going on. We would give you a blueprint of how we will work with you, and then you can select a coaching package to work with us. Okay. Any final words you want to say, baby?
We appreciate y'all for sticking with us for these 35 minutes.
Yeah.
And reach out to us. Okay, reach out to us. Subscribe to our channel. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and like my wife said, make sure you get this. And one thing I do want to say too, you don't have to be in a relationship to get this workbook. Like this will help you along the way, so that when you do find your person, you'll be ready, baby. You know what I'm saying? You will be ready. All right. And you will know how to communicate.
And y'all pray for my baby. Y'all hear how congested he sound? I was sick first. I'm gonna tell y'all what happened real quick. Yeah. I was sick first, and then he didn't really think I was sick. I kept telling him I didn't feel well. Then next thing you know, he got sick. And y'all know when men get sick, oh God, the biggest baby. You see, oh my God, baby, no. Don't he sound so pip? Why you look? He got an whole attitude with me, y'all, because he's saying I got him sick. Don't tell the people.
I be around people all day, every day. I'll never get sick. This joker come in the house sick. I should sit out there in the garage.
First of all, ask him how he got sick.
I don't even know. I can't even remember. I think because
you is lying.
No, when New Year's came in, she attacked me, y'all, and that's how I got sick.
Bye, y'all.
She raped.
You can't use that word on YouTube.
Sorry. Oh.
Bye, y'all.